I met my ex-husband after we started working. Before meeting me, he had no experience in romantic relationships, having attended an all-boys high school, pursued engineering in university and graduate school, and then entering the tech industry. He lacked experience interacting with women. He was unkempt, not romantic, and not good with sweet words. These were daily occurrences, but I didn't mind these things at the time. I even saw them as strengths because, during his courtship, I could feel his sincerity. Though clumsy, he was genuine. Lack of experience just meant he hadn't had the opportunity to learn. It wasn't his fault. Love is a process of mutual growth, and starting from scratch was fine with me. During our relationship, he treated me very well, perhaps even too well. When I did small things like paying for parking, he would be moved to tears and vowed to marry me. His proposal was quite romantic. So, even though we had only dated for a little over a year, I felt it was a bit soon. But seeing him kneel with anticipation in his eyes, I couldn't bear to reject him outright. I suggested we take an overseas trip to ensure we were compatible. I believe traveling together reveals a lot about a person's character and compatibility. Everything went well, and we got married nearly a year later, wearing a white gown, immersed in a bubble of happiness. I never imagined that what followed would be a nightmare. There were countless minor issues. Too many to list. I'll mention a few direct ones. I studied accounting in university, and my classmates and I prepared for exams together, forming strong bonds. Most continued in accounting-related jobs, so we remained close. Once, I returned home around 11:30 p.m. after a gathering with former classmates. He was sitting in the living room with a gloomy face. "What's wrong?" I asked, thinking something had upset him. "Why are you back so late?" he asked coldly. "It's a class reunion. I told you about it, didn't I? But you didn't say it would be this late. I saw your Instagram photos, there were guys there. You're a married woman. Don't you have any shame? If I were out late with a group of women, would you be okay with that? Isn't it normal for reunions to have both men and women? Coming back at 11 p.m. isn't unusual. Traveling takes time. What's your problem? We've always had these gatherings. Why didn't you say anything before? That was different. You're married to me now. You're mine." This was our first major argument after marriage. I began to realize his views on marriage were distorted. It felt like, to him, a wife was a possession he had acquired, no different from a car or a house. Since he had bought me, I was expected to be obedient, virtuous, and compliant. He even went through my phone while I was asleep, without my permission, reviewing all past chats and photos, categorizing them. He noted which guys had flirted with me, which female friends he deemed inappropriate, and even recorded arguments with my ex-boyfriends, using them against me in our fights. "No wonder he broke up with you. Now I understand. Guys really need to protect themselves." The final straw was the incident mentioned at the beginning. After the New Year's Eve dinner, my mother-in-law asked me to wash the dishes. To be clear, I wasn't unwilling. I felt she had worked hard cooking, and helping with the dishes was reasonable. I nudged my husband, suggesting we do it together. After all, it was his family, and it made sense for him to help. Also, I wasn't comfortable being alone with my mother-in-law, whom I wasn't close to. "Why, isn't this your duty as a daughter-in-law?" he responded, shockingly matter-of-fact. I looked around and noticed that none of the men in the family were helping. It seemed that household chores and the kitchen were considered women's responsibilities, even though my mother-in-law was a retired teacher with a stable income. "Oh, I see. Then I won't be a daughter-in-law anymore." Realizing this, I loudly declared my refusal, grabbed my bag, and left. I quickly took a taxi back to our place, collected my important belongings, and fled to my real home. Then began the divorce proceedings. Since he hadn't committed adultery, domestic violence, abandonment, or any criminal acts, the legal process wasn't easy. Fortunately, I had the full support of my family. "I'll cover the costs. Hire the best lawyer and make sure the divorce goes through," my father insisted. "Don't waver, or this will never end." When the court finally granted the divorce, my father cheered louder than I did. "Whatever. A 30-year-old divorced woman, let's see who would want you. I'm a man. It doesn't matter. I have money. I bet I can find someone better than you." I remember my ex-husband's cold parting words. The most ironic part is that about a year later, I met my current husband, while my ex reportedly married a foreign bride who eventually left him. When I heard about it, I couldn't help but laugh. It seems his difficult personality was too much, even for someone seeking a better life abroad. I wonder how I endured it back then. Last weekend, my current in-laws wanted to visit me and my husband. My husband firmly declined, as I was newly pregnant, and there were various flu outbreaks. My mother-in-law wasn't pleased and, knowing the call was on speaker, suggested that perhaps I didn't want to see them. To my surprise, my usually filial husband stood up to her, emphasizing that it was his decision and had nothing to do with me. "Of course, I want to protect you," he told me afterward. "My parents raised me. They can scold me, and I won't say a word. But they have no right to scold you. That's my principle. Even if you did something wrong, They should talk to me privately, and I'll relay it to you. I know you've had bad experiences before. Don't worry, I won't let you go through that again. You married me, not my family. There are 2 decisions in my life I never regret. 1. Getting a divorce. 2. Having the courage to marry you.